Live from the J.C. Newman Cigar Studio and the Gurkha Cigar Studio in the great state of New Hampshire. Welcome to the Smokin Tobacco Show with your hosts, Matt Tobacco and Smokin Nicole.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of the Smokin Tobacco Show. My name is Matt Tobacco from SmokinTobacco.com, and I'm joined once again by the beautiful Smokin Nicole. And we have returned after being away. I think in the last month and a half, we've only done one show.
It's been a minute.
We talked a little bit about some of that on the last show that we were actually able to make. There's been a lot of things going on over here. I'm going to keep most of it private because it's family matters. I will keep it very limited, but I will say we did have a sudden, unfortunate, surprise death in the family recently. That's really all I'm going to say about it. So that was obviously something that we had to deal with, and it's been a lot for the family. Anastasia had another surgery last week that was very successful, much more minor than before, but it's still surgery on a toddler. So, you know, it's a thing. She's just about good to go right now. She's
limping around, but she's getting around, and that's
Yep.
what matters. So
not a body cast this time, so we haven't had to deal with that.
and she's already back to her sassy.
Yeah. So it's you know, it's a lot of things all at once that, you know, have been going on, and it's a lot.
And we had technical.
We've had technical issues. That's right. We had the computers crash on us, which was which you know, there was that. We lost a show because of that as well. I tried really hard to get a show going that week, and it just unfortunately I didn't have the time to remedy it the way it needed to be remedied, and it's just been a very long like 5 or 6 weeks of unfortunate events here.
But we're back.
But
We're back.
We're here.
That's what we need to focus on.
And we should be good to go every week going forward. I don't think we have, unless anybody else passes away, which happens. But
Our computer spontaneously combust.
again,
Or,
we should be good. We should be good to go. We should be good to go for a while. We're gonna have some of our friends join us. Coming up soon. I have to confirm dates, but John Carney should be coming on soon because he said he wanted to hang out with us.
we have some new faces that we've been connecting with from PCA. Some new brands that we had talked about getting on the show. So more guests to coming up.
Not a new brand, but and not a new face for us personally. But our friend Tom from Zeno. We've known him since his Drew Estate days, and
That's going to be a great show.
It's gonna be. Let me tell you something.
I already have an idea for trivia that week.
He's very excited to come.
I'm going to have to stump him.
Yeah, he's very excited to hang out with us. I mean, so he'll be coming on too.
Yep.
He's gonna be talking Zeno, and then he and I are going to a Red Sox game.
They got Green Monster seats.
It's going to be it's gonna be a great night. It's front row Monster seats, Yankees game, prime time, Sunday night baseball.
Red Sox versus Yankees.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's we're gonna have a blast. It's I'm very excited. Tom, you know, doing media, you know, you try to you know keep things, you know, but you do make friends. You know, and Tom is someone I consider a personal friend, not just a business friend. And I'm very excited to finally have him on the show. I've been waiting years for him to come on the show, but he's never been in a position where it was appropriate for him to be on a show. Now he's like, I can come on a show. So I'm like, all right, well, I've been waiting. So he's coming on a show. We're gonna hang. He's coming up to Boston. So
I like Tom.
I know.
He was so nice. Back in the day, he worked for Drew Estate, and I went to one of the barn smokers in Connecticut by myself because that was the weekend you went to Miami for the launch of
LFD, NFT. Yep.
NFT. So I drove to Connecticut from Mass all by my lonesome self, and I went to Barn Smoker, and I didn't know a lot of people, but Tom came up to me, and I feel like I only met him once for 5 minutes before that anyway, but he was my buddy there at the Barn Smoker, which was a really good Barn Smoker. That was one where they did the party. It was like their anniversary one, right? 25.
That was the DE25 year, yeah.
25 years. So they did like this party.
He hooked you up.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. But he's a good guy and he's fun. So
Very excited.
that's the year they had like a concert. It was really, really good. So, I'm trying to think what else like we got to catch up people on.
We are going on a miniature road trip this weekend.
Yeah. So Matthew bought a new truck. I think those of you who follow us know that Matthew was in a car accident right before PCA, and his truck got totaled. So we, are going to get one, and it was cheaper to go to Ohio.
Well, yes, it was, but because I wanted something very, very, very specific. So I had in full transparency, I had a Chevy Trail Boss 2020 LT model. I loved it. I loved that truck. I had it since plastic came off the seats. And, unfortunately, I don't have it anymore. And so I kind of went into it like, I just want to buy what I had. I don't, whatever. And as I was doing my search and I was looking around, I stumbled upon the GMC Sierra AT4. And I was like, I really, really like this. And I was looking at a lot of different things, but I just could not stop thinking about it. And I was like, all right. But there's a few factors with all of the GM-made trucks from the last couple of years, and one of those is an engine recall. So I was trying to find something that didn't have a recall issue, that was, in great shape, and because I didn't want to buy brand new, but I wasn't buying anything too old, and so I was trying to be like really narrow with my search, and I was striking out until I found one in Ohio that was literally better than anything I even expected to find, and I checked it all out, and it was good to go. And I said, I don't know, this one's in Ohio, like, what do you think? And she was like, I mean, if you want to drive it back, I'll go with you. So I was like, yeah, we'll take it.
I think it's like a 12 or 13 hour drive back.
Not even. It's like 10. It's like 9 or 10.
We're going to do it in a day. We have points, so we're going to fly into Pittsburgh. Sean asked what part of Ohio. I believe it's Calcutta.
Mm-hmm.
So, but Pittsburgh is about roughly an hour away from the Ohio border.
Not even.
Right there. So
it's like 45 minutes.
The dealership is going to come pick us up at the airport.
Yep.
And we are going to drive then to the Catskills and go to a famous German restaurant.
Are we going to the Catskills?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought we weren't going to the Catskills.
No, we are. It's like in between. It's like
okay.
In between. But there's a famous German restaurant, so we're going to drive like 7 hours through Pennsylvania to New York and go to this, stop for the night and go to a famous German restaurant and have some authentic schnitzel and women serving us in lederhosen.
Vest.
Yes.
We went to have vest.
First. For those of you who don't know, Matthew is part German.
I had two predominant heritages,
Yeah.
Both of which I try to celebrate as much as possible. There's my mother's side of the family, who is Polish-German, and there's a lot going on over there. I mean, I had great-grandfathers who were who were German soldiers in the war, not those ones, the regular military, and I've had grandfathers who were American soldiers in the wars over the years. And but yeah, my grandmother was born in Kassel, Germany. My great-grandmother was born in I want to say in the Warsaw area of Poland, if I remember correctly. It wasn't Warsaw. She was born in a village, but I think it was in that area. So my mother's family comes from there, and it's always been celebrated, and having European people that I was close with growing up on my mom's side of the family was important to me. And then on my dad's side of the family, they were Italian. And my Italian heritage is also very, very important to me, and I really celebrate that, especially more so for my dad, because growing up, my mom really celebrated. I mean, she grew up with all of them, and like they were really into it. And my dad grew up, obviously, with my grandparents, being very Italian and all that, but as he's gotten older and we've given him a hard time, he hasn't really stayed connected to his Italian roots. And so I'm trying to like kind of overdo it a little bit and like really like keep him attached. And I told him recently, I said, Dad, we really need to like, we can't let our Italian heritage go. Like I need you in this. And he's like, yeah, I know. And I'm like, well, I need you in this with me. Like, sometimes, you don't like pesto, like What's it? I don't know. I'm like, you don't like basil? I like basil. I'm like, well, then what's the problem? It's like, well, it reminds me of guacamole. I'm like, it's not guacamole. I hate guacamole and I love pesto. What are you doing? Like, we got to do this together. It's a whole thing. So he's getting better with it. I mean, he's getting better with it. But anyway, my point being, when this came up, look, yesterday. When did we go to the North End? 2 days ago?
Monday, on Memorial Day.
Yeah, so on Monday we went to the North End in Boston, the Italian neighborhood. And
Well, we took Anastasia to the aquarium to see the sea animals.
Yeah, we did.
And then we went to the North End.
Yeah, it was a great time. I love going to the aquarium. And all she wanted to see was the turtles, and then that was it. But we saw everything. We made her look at everything. And then we went to the North End. So we had a great time doing that. And that's kind of easier to. My point that I was getting to was it's easier to kind of do that. You can go to the North End, but there's not a lot of German focused
really
places. So when Nicole brought this up, I was like, well, I really do want to go because she knows my heritages are very important to me. And so I was like, I haven't really been to many German-focused restaurants. I'm like, I need to go.
It's been open for 155 years. It's called Mountain Brauhaus, and it's in Gardner, New York. It's just outside of Newport. Yes,
Das
but
Bier.
it is
German beer stein, courtesy
famous
of our friends at JC Newman from the
area.
Brookhouse brand.
And it's a great road tripping. So if you're coming from Pennsylvania or, driving through Connecticut, going down 84, it's a good stop because it's right over the border from Connecticut. I think Danbury is kind of close, but as soon as you hit mid New York and Middletown and Poughkeepsie and you go a little bit further out there, it's a good stop there. So
yeah. I mean, and there's a lot of Germans in the Pennsylvania area too. That were the early settlers when they came over here from Germany, German immigrants. So
anyway, 7-hour drive, German restaurant, stay the night,
Yeah.
and then we're gonna complete our drive the next morning home. So really just one day, but we had airline points to burn and.
Yeah, it really worked
not?
out because it's only going to cost me some gas to get it home. I don't have to ship it.
In a one-night hotel.
Yeah, and I didn't have to pay. I didn't have to pay to ship it, which would have been a couple grand. I didn't have to pay all this money in airline tickets because I burned my points for it and got it for free. It really worked out. So and then it's Nicole's like, well, at the same time, then it's we kind of get a little mini night away. And I'm like, yeah, that's I'll always take one of those, no matter what the circumstances are. As long as it's not disgusting or dangerous, I will be like, yeah, I don't care. It's a night away, so I'll always do that. So this really worked out. It really did. It really, really did.
We'll
so
see.
It's gonna be a good weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'll be. The driving part, but we'll make a good playlist.
Well, here's the thing. So that's also affected our spare note schedule.
Yeah.
Coop was sick for a while. We've had a lot of stuff going on. We were unable to get together. So I'm sure people are asking, what about spare notes? Spare notes is supposed to be coming back. We would have ended up doing it this week.
Yeah.
However, the situation with this vehicle came up somewhat last minute, and I already have discussed it with Coop. And I said, look, we would obviously want to do it this weekend, but there's no way because I won't be around. So, and he knows that. So I think I have to touch base with Coop. My plan is to try to do it next weekend, next Saturday night. I don't think we have anything. I just have to make sure he's available. But that's what I'd like to do. It'll probably be a little bit of a longer show because we have a lot to catch up on. We have not even discussed PCA on Spare Notes yet. There's a lot going on there. So just be prepared. I will post and advertise and promote when that show will be. But I'm just kind of getting back into the groove here with Smokin Tabacco stuff because, honestly, unfortunately, it's a, I don't want to say it's the lowest item, but it's a lower item on the totem pole sometimes. And when you have stuff going on at home, you just have to deal with it. So, unfortunately, stuff like this just has to wait. And I know it's disappointing, and people want to know where we've been and what's going on, and we're not going away.
But we appreciate you.
We're not going away. We're fine. We need some time. We gotta handle some stuff, and that's the thing. It always all happens at the same time. It's never oh, we got one thing. It all happens at the same time, and then it's nothing happens, and you're fine for a while, and then all of a sudden, boom! It's another 6 weeks of the 7 things that have happened. So that's been our situation. So that's what's going on. Just because I like to have full transparency, let everybody know what's going on. and we should be good to go now for a while. We should have most of that stuff taken care of. We should be fine. So you'll be seeing a lot more of us again that you're used to seeing. So that covers all of that.
We should segue into what we are drinking and what we are smoking tonight.
Yes, we will. And by the way, I know Sean said thank you for the wishes. I appreciate that. We don't have a guest tonight, so we're gonna go right into what we're smoking. Kids do make a difference, although it's not just the kid. It's
Life.
It's a lot more than her. We've learned to manage her. It's kind of the other stuff that's popped up. But anyway, what we're smoking tonight, we'll talk about what we're smoking, but then we're going to talk about why we picked what we picked after, because that's a whole thing too.
Yeah.
But our cigars tonight are brought to you by the number 2 Guys Cigars. That's right, the number 2 guyscigars.com. Head over there today for an amazing selection of cigars and cigar accessories from brands you know and love, and maybe a few you haven't quite discovered yet. Do yourself a favor, head to 2guyscigars.com and place an order today. Show them some love the way they show us love here every week. Nicole, I'll let you go first.
Yeah. So, but I can't. Can I just talk about why we picked it too?
Okay, now you can.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, a project that we have been putting off for a very long time is organizing our humidor room, and so.
Oh my God. It's been one of my and that's another thing we dealt with too.
This sounds really horrible and maybe elitist, but we have too many cigars.
Well,
and so
here's the thing. Can I just add to that? It's not like
we have too many.
we both smoke cigars. We both buy a lot of stuff. We spend a lot of money on stuff, and that's just because
we're cigar enthusiasts.
we're into this.
Well.
We're hardcore people. So we buy a lot of stuff. On top of that, you get samples from the show. You get manufacturers, send us things, when new stuff comes out to try. Not everybody and not, but you got stuff and you get boxes. You open the box. We each try a couple and it's like, oh, that's okay. That's pretty good. Oh, I like those. And then, in the humidor it goes with all the other ones. And
then we buy stuff we like.
Then we buy stuff.
The problem is
and then 2 more boxes show up for free. And we're like, oh, and then it's just all just keeps getting piled in there. And then you just, after a while, you don't even know what you have.
We're trying to keep up with smoking what's new so that we know what to talk about, and we like telling people and being hyped about new products and things like that. But then we'll go to the shop and be like, oh, but I love this cigar and I want a whole box, but then we never get to smoke that whole box. So it's like we have to. It was a lot, and and especially sometimes we'll buy singles and not boxes, and just organizing the singles to be in places that you can visually see them so you don't forget what you have. So it's a good problem to have. It took us 2 days.
It took us 2 days. The first day was just the cabinets and all the boxes.
Yeah.
And then the second day was all the other cabinets with all the singles. And it was that took longer because, at least with boxes, you okay, boom. They're bigger and you can look at a whole box and be like, all right, we're keeping these, we're getting rid of these. And then the singles, you got to go through one by one. And it's
so our house wish list, we have a closet that we want to convert to a walk-in humidor, but right now that closet, while we do humidify it, we keep boxes outside of the humidors that are sealed, and in plastic wrap, and so we have those stocked on the wall. And then we have 2 6-foot humidors, 3. What size would you say those are?
The smaller ones?
Yeah, small
we
fridge
got
size.
two. We got two 6x2s. You've probably seen the Prestige Imports ones. Then we have a half-size New Air Coolador. Yep. That I was sent for review years ago. And then we have a 2.5, 3 foot by 18 nice one. It's smaller, but it's wooden, cedar inside with the shelves, which were originally sliding, they slid on slats, but I got all those out and I put nice drawer rails in them with a glass door. And so those two mostly hold general singles, and then we have a DE, a big Drew Estate humidor for Drew Estates, a lot of the Liga singles we have and stuff like that. I have another one that I keep a lot of my Tatuaje singles in. And then we have the New Air 2000. What is that thing called? It's the bigger New Air one that does cooling and humidification. That's out in the hallway, and we keep another brand in there. So
And we just have a bunch of tabletop ones too.
Yeah,
And
I mean, it's just
repurpose like the Byron boxes that like then become humidor. So it's a lot, and we forget what we have. So regardless, we should do a tour someday because we have quite a lot of stuff. But we were digging, we were going through, we were organizing, whatever. We found, or at least I found. So tonight, kind of we thought, okay, well, what's something that we found the other day that we forgot was buried, and that was kind of like what we chose to smoke today. I grabbed a 2023 Los Calaveras. I love this year. It was only the second year they
I think
did
that's the LC50.
Yep. And it was only the second year they did a Connecticut broadleaf on the Los Calaveras. And
I think so, yeah.
Yep. And it came out of my father. So
As they always do.
and yeah, so it's really good. I remember getting the sampler pack that year. It was great. And then I think brought to you by two guys at one of their sales. I think it was either the March Madness or the Black Friday. They had a great clearance sale, and we snagged these I think last year. So they already had like 2 years extra of age on them.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we cleaned house
was
that
good.
day. Yeah, we bought a lot of stuff.
And
But see, that's what
so-
happens. And you
Yeah,
you
then
go to
you
like
have
two
more.
guys,
Then
and
you have more.
my people at two guys are like, hey,
Yeah.
we're doing March Madness, we're doing Black Friday,
So-
and then you go in there and you buy like several boxes because you're like, oh man, this is a great deal. So you stock up on stuff, and then you come home and you're like, oh fuck, we're gonna put all
Yeah,
these
it-
now. Like, well, you get excited because like, oh, I can get those cheap. I'm gonna grab all those. I'm gonna stock up, and then you come home and you're like,
Yeah.
where are they gonna go? I didn't think that far.
But this is good. It's mild on the pepper. It's like chocolatey. It's cocoa-y. I don't know. I like it. And I'm making, I made, because I'm talking about my drink more so to like call out Matthew's drink choice tonight. But I'm just drinking rum and ginger ale, diet ginger ale.
Yeah, you're becoming a
fruit
father's
mustache.
child.
We went to my,
You really
my
are.
dad's house for no because we went to my dad's house for dinner the other night. However, he did not have juice to like do a splash in my drink, and he opened a juice box of juicy juice and splashed. So I'm not quite that bad yet with my juicy juice splash.
I'll tell you,
in my ginger ale
he'll do anything.
Bacardi
He'll do anything
drink,
for a
but
drink. Instead of being like, I don't have enough, I just won't have a drink. He'll be like, oh no, I'll make it
I'll
work.
get creative. There's juicy juice in there.
Yeah,
There's a juice box.
If he had no juice, but he had a bunch of fruit, he'd be like, "Well, I'm gonna juice the fruit, and then it's like he won't stop until he makes his thing." So he's good like that.
I like my diet ginger ale and Bacardi. It's fine. It's working. All right, so your turn.
I'm smoking. I forgot I had a bunch of these. Cavalier Geneve. These are a cigar that I have enjoyed for a long time, and we were going through everything, and I found a handful of them. I was like, oh, definitely keeping these, but these aside, I want them. And so I'm like, I'm going to smoke one of these. It's been a while, and I like these. This is really good. So I'm smoking a Cavalier Geneve, and I am drinking a little bit of limoncello. Limoncello.
Yeah, after we met with Michael Capolini at PCA, and he gave us some limoncello to go with the new Toscano.
Larry Frank has a great idea. Looks like a sampler pack giveaway is coming.
To be fair, we're due.
Yeah.
We are
No,
gonna do
honestly.
for one.
Yeah, let's do it. I want to get.
Yeah.
So
Not tonight, but we'll put something together for like next week.
I'm not gonna like advertise because I don't want anyone to feel bad. But I mean, look, obviously, there's a lot of stuff that is good stuff where I'm like, I don't like either. I already have so much of it, or like, I just can't keep everything. But we do have a bin over there that
Should
is.
I bring it?
No.
We don't have to show them what's in it.
No. Because the thing is the people from those brands who see this will say, "Oh,
They don't need to know.
We're in the throwaway bin," and it's like
No, we don't need
it's
to show
not
them
like
what's
that
in
though.
it.
I mean, there's just like some stuff has to go. I
What-
mean, we just don't have room for all of it.
What is that, a 13-gallon bin?
What does it
Bigger.
say? Is it 13 gallons?
27-gallon.
I see a 27 in a green circle. I think it's a
Okay,
20.
so we have a 27-gallon bin of our disc.
And it's about half. It's at least halfway full, maybe a little.
And they're
more.
not bad. It's just things that we know we're never gonna smoke. We're never gonna get to smoke.
Yeah.
It's just we tried them maybe once or twice. They were good, but not blown away.
The other
And we
thing
just
too,
can't keep it all.
you have to remember too is when you have a humidor, especially like a cabinet where you store boxes, right? Singles, it's not as bad, but when you have box storage, and you have like cabinets where you just stuff it, like where you're doing the Jenga just to get them in. The problem is you're also restricting the airflow through the cabinet. So you really don't want to have a cabinet that's that full.
Yeah.
Because I mean, some cigars will be okay, the ones that can still get to the moisture, but then the ones that are cut off because they're, 2 shelves above and the shelves below are just so stuffed, there's no airflow.
And let's talk about the mold problem of.
And then there's the mold problem.
We had a big mold debacle in, was it 2022, 2023? So
it's the only one we've ever had.
it's the only one we've ever had, but those 6-foot humidors.
Only one of them, and it was one
I know,
spot.
But yes, so ours are made differently, but I think those of you who know, they're the 2-foot, right, by 6-foot. That we said. We have a his and a hers, and the hers, mine that I got, has 2 shelves, but instead of it being for boxes, you have pull-out drawers, and I think there's 8 of them.
There's like 8 individual drawers that take up like 2 shelf spaces.
And so they obviously have slats at the bottom, but when they're so stuffed with singles, it's restricting that airflow. So anything not sellowed ended up becoming moldy.
And the unit, the humidification, the whole, because we don't just use packs. Those are too big to just fill packs. So we have the machines.
Yeah.
That just
the Oasis.
below the moisture. So that sits like right below or right above. It's like right on top or right below it, and so that's really close, so all the moisture just gets trapped right there, and then it doesn't circulate, and then when all the moisture gets stuck in one spot, what happens? Mold grows. So you need to make sure you have proper airflow all the time when you have larger humidors like that, so that all the cigars are breathing and getting the moisture that they need to stay fresh and humidified, but also so that way the moisture doesn't get stuck in one spot where then it grows mold, because then you're looking at throwing away inventory that you spent your hard-earned money on, and nobody wants to do that. So especially if you got rare collectible stuff that is not as easy to just replace,
And so honestly, we don't keep the really good stuff, I feel like, in that humidor just in case it happens again. That's where we use kind of the tabletop ones for extra special singles.
The most valuable cigars we have are kept in the new air, the big new air in the hallway, because I don't have to worry about that issue because of the way it's designed. And in my review that I did with that humidor,
it's on YouTube.
It's on SmokingTobacco.com as well. But I cover that, and it's interesting. While it's pricier than like the wooden ones, I will say, even after, like, I've had it for 4 years now, maybe 4.5 years now.
Well, you had
using it now, like when I did the review, it was like a 90-day review. But like now, like having it for 4 years and constantly using it, and like I will say I love it even more because it's so much easier to maintain. I don't have to worry. Like the mold issue with that one is extremely low risk, because of the way it's designed and the way that I use it and the way that I properly use it. I don't ever worry about that issue, and the cigars in there that has a much better seal on it, so the moisture stays in it better. The cigars have stayed fresher in there for longer. Even if it runs out of water and if I don't catch it for a few days, they stay nice and fresh, and they can wait till I can top it up. The other cabinets, not so much. The other cabinets you really have to stay on top of because they have the wooden doors. And unless you gasket those doors, which is kind of a pain in the ass, I mean, depending on the conditions in the cabinet and outside of the cabinet, anybody who knows about wood knows that wood can swell, wood can dry. So if you don't, and this also kind of ties in with the box humidors too. If you have a box humidor and you take the lid and you just use your thumbs and you just gently push up on it, if that thing's just going nice and loose, it means that the wood isn't swollen enough where it's kind of tightened that gap. So you could have some air flow there where the humidity is leaking out. Another thing I always get asked a lot is glass top humidors, like the ones you find on Amazon for like $30. Oh, like these are so cool. Don't buy those. Those are notorious for not being completely airtight for the same reason, and you lose your humidity, and you're going to be drying out your cigars or burning through Boveda packs all the time.
People also forget that when they have those humidification systems, they should be good about using distilled water.
Yes.
It's funny because I saw, we're in a bunch of Facebook groups, right? But someone was saying like they were complaining that they bought a cigar from a retailer and there was something to do with like mold on the cigar, but like they said the humidor had a whole musty scent, and they had one of the humidifiers that was like blowing air, and they could just smell it. And it's like that's because they don't use distilled water, and there's probably like buildup in it.
Or the other thing, like for retail stores that have big walk-in rooms.
Yeah.
Obviously, you can get from like Germ USA is one of them. There's a couple of companies that we see them at the show that make full size commercial grade humidification systems for rooms, for storage rooms. And you need to, sometimes it's built in and sometimes it's a separate unit that you need to put in line with it. But the other thing is, if you're not going to fill that up manually, it's just too much water.
Yeah.
So you have to have a water line, right? Makes sense. You need to make sure you have a reverse osmosis.
Yeah.
To filter that water before then it gets missed into the room. For the same reason, you need to make sure that water is being clean, purified, and then it goes into the humidifier, and then that blows the clean mist into the room. So I feel like most people who watch our show don't have that in their home, but for maybe some small retailers who are
they should be doing it.
They should be doing it, and they know about it. That's something that you should know about. If you're using kind of a homemade rinky-dink thing, I get it, but you should make sure you're having a proper setup if you have inventory that you're looking to sell, because your customers will appreciate it, and I'm sure the manufacturers that do business with you will appreciate it as well, because their brands will be represented the right way. So
and then then you see people who complain as well. Oh, the cigar, like it cracked on me, whatever. But it was it how was it taken care of at the retailers also?
Correct. Yes.
A thing, part of that.
So, I mean, that's just some humidor insight for you. We'd love to share information when we can.
Yeah, we didn't really plan on segueing there, but that's where we.
These conversations just kind of happen naturally.
And we will probably also document when we do decide to do our walk-in humidor at home. That whole project, because I feel like people would be interested in that. We're going to convert a closet into a walk-in. How big would you say the closet is?
Well, that we wanted to make into a bathroom, and then we were going to make that a humidor in the hallway.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
That's kind of how we were going to do
it. How big is that one? It's an under the stair closet, but like we're gonna
big enough.
Expand it.
Yeah, it'll be big enough.
Yeah,
it'll be big.
So. But that'll be a project. Yes, that one's going to become a bathroom.
Yeah.
Half bath.
We need a bathroom down here. It just makes so much sense. But yeah, man. What was I gonna say? Well, let's talk about our next segment. It'll come back to me. Our friends at ST Dupont, shaking up the legacy. That's right, ST Dupont, featuring the new ST Dupont table lighter. There it is, with the soft flame and the torch flame.
My new favorite lighter.
I know. This is Nicole's favorite thing, although she wants the gold one.
Yeah.
She wants the gold one. So we're working on that. Everyone's talking about I'm sorry. I love this. I love people like, this is what I have. This is what I have. It's like, this is.
I do love hearing it too, because how you take care of it is important.
And I don't want to make it a sex thing, like a sexist thing, but like it's kind of like men with tools. Like, we have a lot of, we love women being involved, but most men watch our show, and most men like me, it's like when we all get together, what do we talk about? We talk about tools. We talk about trucks. We talk about like, oh, well, I do this and I do that, and it's like it's the same thing. It's just like, well, this is what I got. This is my rig. This is my setup, and it's just like, and you get into it because you're like, oh, what are you running? Oh, I like that. You should try this. It's like. So I love this. I'm like, oh, what do you got?
This way, you're spending all this money on cigars, right? They're not cheap. Some of them are very pricey, and you got to protect your investment. They'll last a long time and won't get ruined if you're taking good care of them. So.
Yeah, like Joseph Sardina. I have a 2500 humidor, 7 foot tall, and it's the best investment I ever made for my collection. Yeah. If you're a very casual cigar smoker, you don't smoke very often, like a small box humidor might be plenty for you. And as long as you take good care of it, you keep packs in there and keep the cigars fresh, you're good to go. If you are a serious cigar smoker and you go a cabinet route or, more than that, or you have to juggle several cabinets, getting good one, like you got to make the investment. If you're going to invest like thousands and thousands, maybe even tens of thousands of dollars in cigar collecting and preservation, you need to invest in a good place to keep them. It's just like a bed. I remember once upon a time, I had some severe back problems, and I went to the doctor and all this, and I realized I just was sleeping on a shitty mattress. And someone said to me, you know, there's a lot of things in life you can cheap out on, but you really shouldn't cheap out on a good mattress, because just think about it. It's where you get your rest. That's where your day begins. It's where your day ends. You know, you got to invest in a good sleeping, tool. And I was like, something? That's actually a very good point. And it's this: if you're a serious cigar smoker, you need to invest in a good place to keep them.
But there's ways to save a couple bucks too. And
sure,
I'm not gonna lie, I did that with mine. We have literally almost the same exact humidor, same brand. He paid for his at a cigar shop. I got mine on Facebook Marketplace.
Great shape.
I got a good deal. What I pay, like $300 for it?
I don't even think
$400?
maybe.
It was between $300 or $400, and they go for what, like $1,200, $1,500?
They're like $1,200 to $1,500.
Yeah,
Yours was like a couple $100. Guy took good care of it. Just got out of the game and just wanted to get rid of it. I mean, because they're cumbersome. So I mean, when you want to get rid of it, it's just like I just want to get rid of it. So we got it for a great deal. Mine I got from a retailer, and again, it was one that they had ordered for someone that backed out of it, and then it sat in the shop for a while, and they're like, "We got to get this fucking thing out of here." So it was like 50% off, and I was like, you know what? Yeah, 50% off. I'll take it. And I've had it ever since. And it's again, you gotta just, as long as you take care of them, take care of them. If you take care of them, they will take care of your cigars. That's how you need to think of it. I mean, yes, it's a pain to check humidity levels in them constantly, because especially when they're bigger, they burn through more, liquid, and you got to constantly, especially in the winter season, if you're in a cold region where it's dry, it is a struggle. I will tell you. I mean, like from like now until like September, end of September, a little bit of topping up here and there every couple of days, maybe once or twice a week. The natural humidity in the air kind of helps with that. But man, I'll tell you, once it starts getting cold and dry, I probably fill those cabinets up once a day. Not even kidding. Like the dead of January, February, it's once a day. I gotta fill those things up because it's just so dry, and you want to keep those cigars fresh. You gotta just stay on top of it. It's a lot, but if you have an investment of cigars in there, you don't want them to go shit. So you got to do it. I have one of those Dupont destillators on my need to purchase list.
Everyone should.
Everybody should. I mean, that thing is badass.
Honestly, it could probably save your life too, because if you threw this at someone's head, you take them out.
I mean, that thing has so many. That'd be great to take camping. It's a big lighter. I mean, I know it's not designed for that, and I know Les would probably cringe at the thought.
I cringe at it.
But
it's a luxury.
But it is. I mean, it's nice to have something that big that makes flame and different kinds of flame.
Soft flame.
It's windproof flame as well, so it is good outdoors. I mean, not for nothing. So I mean, there is that
chunky. Too. If you're gonna get one and you smoke at home and you're not. I mean, obviously, if you smoke in lounges and you're like, you're traveling a lot. Okay, don't get this lighter. But if you smoke at home, you have a lounge, you have a place that you're not like just outside leaving stuff outside. Get it. It's worth it. I don't know. Because if you're on the go, it's obviously not feasible. In our cigar lounge in the house, keeping this on the table is good for us.
Yes. So. Yeah, I'm actually going to borrow that. Thank you. Sorry. No, you're okay. I just have to touch this up a little bit. That was on me. So yeah, definitely ask your local retailer. I asked you Dupont today. Let's see. Let's bring that down. Let's move on to our friends from Nova Cigar. Make Nova big. Check them out. We love Nova Cigar. We found a bunch of Nova cigars we forgot we had too, and I was like, well, I need those. I'm like, definitely don't get rid of those. I've really enjoyed the Nova cigars over the years. They were with us for a while, then they weren't, but there was no love lost. I've always loved them. They're great people. Shout out to Leo. One of the best people in this industry.
We should get her back on the show.
One of the most beautiful people, friendliest people, caring. She is just a genuine good soul. And we love that Nova Cigar is with us every week. So help make Nova big and buy Nova Cigars today. And she is due to come on the show. I need to reach out to her. And then, of course, is our friend Steve Insaka of Dunbarton, New Hampshire, owner and proprietor of Dunbarton Tobacco and Trust.
Which is doing an event, I think, up
Steve's
here.
gripe of the week. Is he doing an event up here?
Well, he obviously lives up here, so he does quite a few events.
It's easy.
But June 6th, he is going to be at Twins doing something.
Oh, that's right. They're doing that medieval theme thing.
Yeah.
And
He
I
said
remember
he wasn't going to dress up, but I feel like
he was like, I don't know what's going on. I don't know. He's like, I'm just going to be there. Like, typical Steve. Like, I'm just going to show up. I have nothing to do with it. I feel like every time he does, like, some sort of thing, he has to make, like, a disclaimer. Like, I don't know anything about it. I was asked to attend. I agreed to be there.
That's
I don't
all
know
I
what's
did.
going to happen. Like, I feel like that's his vibe every time. It's like, I'm just saying, like, don't hold it against me. Like something bad's gonna happen. It's like it's a store event. It's gonna be great. Like, but no, that's gonna be cool. I think they're doing. It's like medieval themed. I have to look that up. I remember it. I think it's like a weekend long thing, or it's a week. It's over a couple of days, but the final day is when Steve will be there, and I think that's like the big event. I think they're doing like a dinner. And yeah, I remember they had like an AI image, which we needed to spend a show talking about the AI problem right now, because it's out of control.
It's just too many people.
And there's some industry people on here who have been fighting me to the death, trying to use illogical logic on this argument. I'm like, it's not the same thing. Oh man, I have so much I'd love to say.
Ooh, maybe that's a spare notes.
It is it's a spare notes topic probably for the next spare notes after we have a lot to do. So we have a lot to catch up on. So that's definitely in the pipeline. I'm going to give a teaser here so people know what I'm talking about. Everybody knows that AI is on the rise. And I get it, times are always changing and there's always evolution, but AI is very different than... I had someone say, so what do you think, electricity is bad? We rely on electricity too much? And I'm like, that's not even close to the same argument that I'm trying to make. AI is different. AI is a artificial intelligence that can create things and spit things out. I had someone try to compare people relying on artificial intelligence to people like relying on fax machines. I'm like,
that doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense. And I was like, well, okay. Well, the fax machine can't falsely generate information that some people with a lower IQ could believe is real. That's a problem. It just gives you what you ask it to make. Specifically, like, make a copy of this. Okay, it'll make a copy of that. AI creates something from a description and makes it a reality. And sometimes it's not for the best. And what you're seeing is a lot of people in the cigar industry, and by that I mean like manufacturers and reps and stuff like that, are just going so heavy with the AI use. And I know, John Carney is like family to me. I love him very much. I know he's very big into AI. I know he's going to be like offended by that statement. And
there's a right and a wrong way to do it.
Yes. And I will break that down with John when he comes on the show. And it's not really so much him. We're seeing people who are just, being very lazy and relying on it. And it's just coming across as so cheap. Some of the stuff that we've seen coming out, even like press releases, or like just not even press releases, just general like inquiries for information. Just people just, oh yeah, have AI tell them. And it's just like, okay.
You still have to fact check though, because here's the problem.
Yeah. And they don't.
So
they're just like, yeah, send it. It's AI. It did it. It's so smart. And I'm like,
No,
it's
you
not.
have to pay for the good AI.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, is people don't want to pay for the good AI. So now you're like using the freebie AI, and it's making all of these issues. I mean, I use it to help me with my day job at work. I write like marketing emails with it. I still have to check things.
Yeah.
But I also don't rely on it to make images for like my marketing and things like that.
Yeah, and the
like,
companies are doing that.
And companies are doing that. They're using it with photos, and then you're like missing fingers. I don't know.
And they're using it to represent their companies.
Well, think about it this way, right? Like in the early 2000s, photoshopping of celebrities was a whole big to-do, right? So it was like, oh, well, that's not what they actually look like. And so AI is kind of doing the same thing with now everything, because they Photoshop things, or they use it for like creative, creative marketing. And it just, sometimes it hits the mark and sometimes it doesn't. I don't know. I mean, I don't think it's necessarily inherently bad, but you're just seeing a lack of creativity with it, I think is the biggest thing. And people not proofreading when they're using it for writing. Sean said I had to take AI classes for work. I've actually been looking into taking them because I do think it's going to be part of our future, whether or not we like it. So, but I want to, utilize it in the right way. And we don't really use it for any of our engagement. You have the groups on Facebook that you can now tell have AI bots putting questions where it's like, what do you think of this? And it's an AI bot writing it from someone's account.
Our Facebook group has it, but it was one of those things where one day I just got a notification that Facebook had already implemented it. It's called Cigar Buddy. So if you go in the Smokin Tabacco Facebook group and you see the Cigar Buddy thing, that I had nothing to do with that. I'm like, who is this guy? It was so weird. At first I was like, who the fuck is this guy? And then I was like, oh, and I looked into it, and it was like, oh yeah, we've implemented an AI thing for your group, and I'm like, and they called it Cigar Buddy. They had already gone in the group, they figured out it was a cigar group, they called it Cigar Buddy, and they told it to engage with cigar people on cigar topics, and it was already running, and I was like, I knew nothing about this. I had nothing to do with it.
But I'm saying in terms of
it's weird.
Imaging on Instagram or promos or flyers or even using AI to chop up our videos, we don't really do any of that.
Some of it could be useful, I'll give you that, but the fact is people use it like it's the greatest thing, and what they are not admitting to themselves is they're using it for certain things because they're too lazy to make organic content on their own.
Yeah.
So they're just, oh yeah, let's just have AI make a picture. And I get press releases with AI photos that they want me to, and I'm like, you really couldn't be bothered
to buy a light box for $20.
No. They already have them because they've been sending us regular photos.
Yeah.
And now all of a sudden they can't be bothered because they have some marketing person who's still in their 20s that just got out of school, who's a Gen Z, who's like, oh, I'm so intelligent because I'm 24 years old and I know all about AI and I'm just going to use an AI image and you should use this for your story. And I'm like, can I have a real photo, please? What are we doing? This is a joke. I don't want to use that. So it's just stuff like that. I don't. I mean, like I said, there are things that it could be useful for, but when it comes to that, it's like, could you really not be bothered to take a photo like all the other companies and send it out so that we have a real photo to use? You want me to use a photo that's just computer generated? And some people are like, oh, what's wrong with that? And it's like, well, I mean, a lot of things, if you really think about it. So that's one part of it that I don't like.
If they're not actually because here's the thing, they could just be telling AI take a picture of this broadleaf cigar and put this band on it, and it's not the actual cigar and it doesn't look like how it does.
I've seen some people use some AI generated things like promos or marketing graphics, and it has cigars in them, and if you look at the cigars, they just look wrong, the bunching for the filler, it just doesn't look right. And it's
saying it though, would I actually care if this, would you care if the cigar doesn't look like it does in a promo when you actually go to the shop and buy it?
I mean, there's a lot of different webs off of this.
Well, think of it this way: when people get catfished, right? You go out on a date and someone doesn't look like their photos.
Oh,
is
God
that
forbid.
the same with is it? Am I
Nicole's trying to say? Nicole's trying to say that there's a real thing out there where people are getting catfished on the cigars that they buy.
No, but just it's
that's a thing.
An example.
Show up in your store and you're like, "What's this? That's not what it looked like on the computer."
Now they think about it. If the cigar just tastes good, would I really care?
It's not just it's not just that though. It's a lot of other things surrounding it, and people are just and it's not everybody. There's a decent percentage of the industry who's using it exclusively for their entire life, and it's okay.
Well, because they can. I think it can make some things easier. I'm fortunate enough to work in an industry where AI is not going to take over, and so are you, because people always need electricians, and AI can't give someone a massage or a haircut. So
somebody has to build the data centers that power the artificial intelligence.
Yep. So I mean, but using it for certain things, I don't know.
So that's my gripe of the week.
Gripe of the week?
Is the overuse of AI. Well, because I had this argument with somebody on Facebook, It was one can sell.
I think the problem is
But,
that people
yeah.
need to educate themselves better on how to use it, and they're just using it sloppily.
Yes.
I think that's the bigger.
That's a big part of it. Yes.
That's the bigger part.
And then they're like,
don't
"What's wrong with
cheap out
that?"
on not buying a subscription to a good one, because it's the free ones that like do a terrible job.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know.
Fully agree.
Yeah, if you're gonna use it for your business, don't be cheap. That's
I know, especially
like,
if it's
yeah,
for a
if you're gonna use it
business.
for a business, don't be cheap. Like buy this.
Personal
do it
use
right.
is one thing.
Educate
but like,
yourself on how to use it. 'Cause
Yeah.
now you have people who used to pay for a marketing person who think they can do it themselves. And I think that's part of it.
Yeah.
Too. Oh, I'll save money doing it myself.
Yeah,
And
and
they
it
don't
works for the
educate
first few
themselves
months,
how to
and then
use
they
it.
realize, like, oh shit.
It still work. It doesn't look great.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I know. People don't want to hear it, but that's okay. That's what we do here at Smokin Tabacco. We tell you the things that people don't want to hear. So that was our segment with Dunbarton Tobacco and Trust. We love having them here. Thank you, Steve. But we're also going to roll into our next segment with our friends from Perdomo. Perdomo Cigars, featuring the 2024 and 2025 Cigars of the Year, the 2025 Factory of the Year. Currently, the Perdomo Legacy Nicaraguan Shade-Grown Epicure is our Cigar of the Year. They just launched the Father and Son Legacy, a limited edition collection, 3 different blends, in a figurado shape, that they are going to release annually, maybe biannually, but at least annually, as a limited edition, limited release, that they just launched with 2 guys, and they had the event last week. I was supposed to be there, but I could not attend because of Anastasia's surgery, so I could not attend. But I did speak to Nicholas, and it was a great event.
Look! Wow!
Oh, look!
Look at the timing.
He's like in the background, like lurking around, and then he's like, "Oh, it's Perdomo time." I'm just kidding, Nicholas. But no, I did speak to Nicholas. It was a good event. They had a great time, so very happy for them. And Nicholas.
I heard that event was really good.
Yeah. I mean, and we talked a lot about it, and people have been asking them for limited, and limited was not really their thing. Perdomo is always a company that, like, we don't want to do like limited. We always want to make sure that you can always buy all of our cigars, but people, at the same time, the customer, always asks for something, and they were getting requests like, we want a limited, we want a collective Perdomo, and they're like, all right, well. So they came up with it, and they did it in a very, very well thought way, in the right way. Not just, let's make 1,000 Connecticut Shade Toros and put a crazy band on it in like a funky box, and we'll sell it as a limited edition, and then we'll do it again next year with the different packaging. No. They really thought it out. They used in special tobaccos that they've had. They're using vintage tobaccos. Nicholas and Nick worked on it together. It's a whole thing. It's really thought out. It's really done well.
It's a meaningful.
It's very meaningful.
Yeah.
I've smoked them already. I got to smoke them at the trade show. Once again, fantastic. It's not a surprise. So really happy for them. So congrats on them. I'll tell you, Perdomo's been very good, strong for a long time. But I was saying this recently. In the last 3 years specifically, I mean, they are unstoppable. I mean, and again, they haven't even, and it's not because they're a sponsor. They haven't even been a sponsor with us very long. And I've been saying this for a long time. They have just been unstoppable lately. They're just dialed in. They don't really have any major problems.
They've become like an upper echelon.
They are.
Not that they haven't been, but of cigar family brands.
I said this.
Consistent.
I said this recently. When you talk about cigar brands, like the family brands especially, and it's just how it goes. People talk about the Fuente family. They talk about the Padron family. They should be talking about the Perdomo family.
Yep.
If you're going to talk about the other two, you got to talk about the Perdomo family. They have reached that point. They deserve that. They are one of the family businesses that is firing on all cylinders, that makes the utmost upper quality. But they do it in an affordable way where people can actually obtain their cigars. And that's not a knock on anyone else. I mean, everyone does different things and whatever, and they're all great. But the Perdomos, I saw some person, and Nick actually responded, and someone made some bullshit comment, and they actually, I don't remember where it was, but they were they shit on the Father and Son legacy, like, oh, limited, the blah 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 blah, that I have to pay all this money for. And Nick was like, excuse me, it's still a $15 cigar, and like, and I was like, good for you. Like, he doesn't have to. He doesn't have to defend himself.
He doesn't. But it sounded like that guy didn't actually say anything about the quality. And that's the thing, is that you can't ever say, I've never had a bad Perdomo. I've like almost never, like, I've never heard that come from someone.
And God forbid, because I will say it has happened. I've seen it like online. I've seen people post like, "Oh, this Perdomo," and one of them
only a handful of times,
right? Not very often,
not
but
very often.
I'm just saying, in my many years of doing this, I have seen it once or twice, where Nick will comment like right away and be like, "Give me your information, we will make it right," and then they'll swap it out. So in the rare instance that there is a problem, because no one's completely immune. The Perdomos are pretty immune, but I have seen it happen, to be fair. But they jump on it like a grenade,
and they still make it right. Even just like what we were talking about, though, where it could have been how it was kept at the retailer. Like, how was it humidified? It might not even, because chances are it wasn't an actual Perdomo problem.
Right.
It was how it was taken care of at the retailer. Problem.
Absolutely.
And that's what affected their smoke, or how the consumer bought it and maybe didn't humidify it right away and left it in a bag. And
there's so many things that happen once it leaves there. Once it leaves the warehouse at the manufacturer and it goes out, it's out of their hands. Unfortunately. So it's hard, but even still, they'll take care of it.
Yep.
Drew Estate's like that too. They have a whole email that you have a problem with one of their cigars, you email, they will send you 2 replacements. So not everybody does it.
No, they don't. It's just like, we'll just buy a new one. But it's the people who, take care of their customers like that.
You want to know why? I'm like Uncle Larry. Plus, they're good people. They are great. They're some of the best people that I know. On a personal level, I have a fantastic personal relationship with all of the members of the Perdomo.
Larry Frank never had a bad Perdomo.
See?
Yep.
Told you.
Never had a bad Perdomo.
The Perdomo, everyone in the Perdomo family, Arthur Kemper as well, the people who work for them, I mean, I have great relationships with them personally as well. And, they're some of the best people. Yeah. They care about everybody. They're genuinely interested in your life. They're good people. They really are. So, again, just giving them some love because they deserve it.
I feel like we don't have a lot of time to do this. I mean, definitely not on today's show. But in general, it would be cool if we did some sort of like, I don't know, like favorite cigars from different brands. Because like, one of my first boxes I ever bought, but I still feel like it's one of my favorite cigars, is the Perdomo Lot 23.
Let me tell you something.
And it's still one of my favorite, but then like I forget about it sometimes. And I still have some like hidden in my humidor from like my OG box that I bought. But
let me tell you something. Perdomo's best-selling SKU is champagne. Okay?
Yeah.
Best-selling SKU. Highly acclaimed, 20th anniversary, now the 30th in the legacy. Habano barrel-aged. Those are real popular. Yeah. The Lot 23 lines.
Love it.
I know they sell them. It's one of those brands that it sells. You just don't always hear about it. And it's so underrated. I mean, it's great cigars at a great price. Lot 23, I mean, you really cannot go wrong with Lot 23.
Pretty sure it was my first box I bought.
I think it was.
That was my first box.
Was it the Maduros?
Bought. Yeah.
Yeah, Lot 23 Maduros. Yeah. I mean, you
no
can't.
Regrets.
You can't go wrong with Lot 23. Yeah. I mean, it's such a great value, and they perform. I mean, you just can't argue with it. You really can't. So yeah, Lot 23. Don't sleep on Lot 23. Lot 23 is they got it going on. But let's do our. We should get to the trivia. We should get
to our trivia.
Nicholas is like, I pay for an advertisement. This is great. I love all the love, but like, what are you actually doing with it? What do we have for trivia this week for the Perdomos?
Well, Monday was Memorial Day.
Yes, it was.
So I wanted to do a little bit of trivia based on our fallen veterans.
Mm.
And it might not be our, most exciting trivia segment, but just a way to honor.
It's one that's deserved.
Yeah.
I I come from a very patriotic family, very American family. Nowadays, there's a lot of people that believe that if you're patriotic, it's bad, and I'll never understand it, and I'm not even going to argue with you on it because there's no reason you shouldn't be. I mean, even Nick will tell you, he's like, when you talk to Nick about like, his success or whatever, Nick Perdomo will say to you, he goes, well, I'm very fortunate. I got to, grow up and live in the greatest country in the world. And my father told me you can be anything you want and you can do anything you want. And, that's what they did. He worked hard. If anyone's ever seen the Hand Roll documentary, Nick is in there briefly, and he talks about, he used to go back to Nicholas's grandparents' house just to eat because he couldn't afford to eat, and he's built an empire because this is the greatest country in the world, and if you work hard, you can do anything. And having said all that, the only way you get to do that is the men and women of the military who are on the front lines and make the sacrifices for us to be able to live that life. Freedom is not free. Not every soldier comes home. And everybody, has loved ones that they care about, and there are plenty of families out there. There are children who wake up on Christmas morning, on their birthday, and someone's not there. And it's because that person died for us. And so they should not be forgotten. And, I've had plenty of family that have served in the military.
My grandfather as well.
Your grandfather, my grandfather. And so it is important. So thinking of all the Gold Star families out there, all the veterans, everybody, and happy belated Memorial Day to all the families out there and all the people who have served. So what are our topic? What are our trivia questions?
Well, number 1, what was Memorial Day originally called? A, Freedom Day, B, Decoration Day, C, Veteran Celebration, or D, Union Day?
I want to say Decoration Day.
That is correct.
Yeah.
That is correct. So that was the original name. Question number 2. Memorial Day was originally created to honor soldiers from which war? A, World War I, B, the Revolutionary War, C, the Civil War, or D, Vietnam War?
World War I.
Wrong.
Really?
It's the Civil War.
Really?
Yes. C, the Civil War.
Okay.
So, this is why it's important. We should know more about it.
Yeah.
Let's see. What year did Memorial Day become an official federal holiday? A, 1776, B, 1868, C, 1971, or D, 1945? I know this one's tricky.
Can you read them?
You really need to know your history.
Can you read them again?
A, 1776, B, 1868, C, 1971, or D, 1945?
So it's not 1776. That was Independence Day.
Yep.
1896. Is that the second one?
1868.
1868. That would have been after the Civil War.
Federal holiday. That's me giving.
71 was after Vietnam, and 45 was after World War II. So it's when did it become a federal holiday?
An official federal holiday.
Because it had already been around. So I don't know why, but the World Wars keep sticking out to me.
You just have to go for it.
I'm going to go with 1945.
Wrong. It was 1971.
That was my second choice because of Vietnam.
Yeah. You have to think too, like federal holidays only go back so far.
Right, that's true.
I knew federal.
I knew it wasn't the other two because they're too far back. Yeah. So I'm like, it's either 45 or it's 71.
At what time is the national moment of remembrance observed on Memorial Day? A, noon, B, 1 o'clock, C, 3 o'clock, and D, sunset.
Sunset.
Well, that's not a time.
Oh, that's true. The question. No, wait. Yeah.
I'm being nice to you today.
Well, no. The question was.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. No, I'll go with noon then.
Wrong. It's C, 3 o'clock.
3 o'clock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Which president signed the law making Memorial Day a federal holiday? A. Abraham Lincoln. B. Richard Nixon. C. Franklin D. Roosevelt. I'm probably said Roosevelt. D. Ronald Reagan.
Well, if it was 71, it would have been Nixon.
That is right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
See, you knew that one. And we'll do one last one. So Arlington National Cemetery is located in which state? A. Maryland. B. Virginia. C. Pennsylvania. D. New York.
Virginia.
You got it.
Yeah.
Not so exciting for Memorial Day, however.
But important.
But very important. Know our history.
Yeah.
You know, it shouldn't just be a day that people use to just have off.
You know, people think,
it is.
oh, it's barbecue day.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not just barbecue day.
No, it's the reason why you get to have a
Yep.
barbecue.
People forget about that. So
Yeah. Remember, there's plenty of barbecues out there where, you know,
and
there's people missing.
And we'll segue here for a minute because one of the other sad things that happened this week that's important, Kyle Busch.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Not to segue into that too, but we're very heartbroken over Kyle Busch. All right.
People who follow me online know that
he was our NASCAR guy.
I was a fan of Kyle Busch for
Yeah.
a very long time. And I'll tell you, I still can't even believe it. Kyle Busch is gone. It's like, it just doesn't make sense to me. Like, why? I mean, that Kyle Busch, I mean, like, he should be out there. I mean, I still can't even grasp it.
41 years old.
Yeah. I mean, I still, you know, and I've been a fan of the sport for a long time. You know, my family has been a NASCAR family, you know, on my mom's side, you know, going back. And I mean, Nicole, I think, didn't really get into NASCAR till she met me. But, like, you know, I remember February 2001, which was the last time that we lost someone like this in NASCAR, an active driver in the season. You know, like, we lost Greg Biffle in the off season. He was retired, and that was very unfortunate. It was very sad. You know, there's been a few others, I think, that we've lost, you know, just outside of, you know, they were retired or they were older, and of course, I mean, all of those are important, but a guy like Kyle Busch, who was like the next coming of, like, someone like Dale Earnhardt, you know, the way he drove, the attitude, and to lose him like that before he had his chance to do his actual victory lap, and, you know, Cigar just, you know, that's it. There's a lot of parallels there, and I think that's kind of why I've drawn to the two, because those are really the two biggest ones in the sport. If you follow the sport, you know, I mean, Dale's was on the track, Kyle's was off the track, but other than that, a lot of the other things just about it were very similar, and it was the last time that, you know, I mean, we went 25 years without having like a major driver loss like that. I mean, fortunately, since Dale died, we haven't really had any deaths, at least in NASCAR, that I'm aware of.
On the track.
There might have been a few. There might have been a few slightly after, I think, but generally, it's been a very safe sport since that, all things considered. But I still remember that day. And the difference is we saw that one happen. I remember the press conference right after the race when they said we've lost Dale. That was kind of like, it all happened so fast. You got Kyle Busch. Like, I remember my mom sent us a link and was like, "Oh, did you see Kyle Busch hospitalized, an illness?" And I remember seeing it. I was like, "Oh." And I just remember thinking to myself, like, that sucks. But, you know, I'm thinking, like, he'll be all right. It's Kyle Busch. I mean, you know,
he's 41.
He's probably got something. Like, they'll figure it out. He's 41 years old. Like, he'll be all right. And later that day, I was scrolling and I saw the graphic, and it was like Kyle Busch, you know, with his date, and I was like, 1985 to 2020. I'm like, wait, what? And I'm like, no. And I look, and it was NASCAR official. I'm like, this has got to be a joke. And it got reshared by, I think it was the Haas Racing team. I'm like, there's no fucking way. And I checked, and I'm like, no, this is real. I'm like, this is a real announcement. And I was just like, there's no way. Like this, and I'm looking like, no, Kyle Busch, NASCAR driver, is dead. I'm like, what? I didn't even. I was just so like, what? I'm like, what do you mean he died? Like, how did he die? And no one, they're like, oh, he was in the hospital. I knew it was something medical, but it was like, no one was saying right away. And obviously we know now, it was pneumonia that, led to sepsis, which, Coop, Cigar Coop, everybody knows Coop, Coop had sepsis. And I remember I spoke to Coop about it. And before the official announcement was made,
silent killer.
He was like, I'm telling you, we were like, I was like, it's got to be something that came on. And Coop said to me, he goes, I'm telling you right now, it was probably sepsis. He said, I'm telling you, it's got to be sepsis. And Coop almost died from sepsis. And I don't know if people really realize that, but Coop was very fortunate in the way that his whole thing came to be, but he was very close. In fact, I think they told him he should have already been dead. Coop,
my stepsister almost died.
Yes.
Sepsis.
Yeah.
Too.
They survived sepsis, which is, if you really know about sepsis, that's the fact that they did is scary, that they were even that close. And sure enough, they said, he had a pneumonia that turned into sepsis, and it's one of those things where, like, I just feel like if you don't catch that right away, like,
because once that infection hits your
it's,
blood
boom,
and it gets into your heart,
that's it. It's like, it's almost like snake venom. It's like once you get the bite, like, you got minutes.
Heart,
it goes, it just starts going, and then you die, and you can't. It's quick. And even if they know what it is, once it's already going, it's very hard to stop. So that's it's something that I think people need to be aware of. Sepsis is a real thing, and I think it's becoming something that's.
We'll have to check in with Coop, but there is
getting a little more prevalent.
Awareness,
there is,
like,
and I know Coop donates money to Coop donates money to a sepsis research charity. He's done it before. He's public about it. He's talked about it. I mean, he's
a huge advocate for it.
So it's not. I'm not sharing anything that people don't know, that he wouldn't want people to know. And I know he would appreciate me bringing it up. So, yeah, I mean, it's very, very sad. We watched the Coke 600.
Crying.
I don't think that I've been that emotional watching a race since the Pepsi 400 in July of 2001. That was tough. That was a really, and I couldn't even believe Samantha and the kids were there. And all the power to them. I mean, that was so soon. I did not expect them to be there. I mean, that's a lot, and they did. They stood there, and his parents were there. Kurt was there with his wife. That's a tough thing to go through, and then to be in front of all those fans, and I know they appreciated it. Don't get me wrong, but it's a lot of emotion to take in. So
I know, but they did it because they knew that's what.
Yeah, no, but I'm saying, like, props to them, because like that's not easy to do. So to be able to face that music that's a lot of strength. That's a lot of strength, and I feel so bad for them. It's that is just a. There's so many things I'd want to say, but there's just no words for it. I mean, it's just wow. Such a shock. So unfortunately, we don't have Kyle Busch anymore, but he'll always be with the sport. So unfortunately, rest in peace, Kyle Busch. I never thought I'd actually have to say it, or at least say it this soon. That's really sad. And I hate to end the show on a sad note, but I know we're running out of time. So that's most of our show tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, good one. It's good to be back. And we will be back next week. Don't worry.
Yep.
We'll let you know how our miniature road trip goes. That's gonna be fun. We're gonna stop at if there's any specific places that we should stop, DM me. Yeah, let us know. Tell us along our journey.
Driving through all of Pennsylvania.
In southern upstate New York.
And Connecticut.
And a little bit of Connecticut.
Not so much Ohio, even though.
And a little bit of the People's Republic of Massachusetts, but we already know that area.
Yeah.
So, before we get to the land of the free in the great state of New Hampshire. So yeah, it's gonna be a good time. Let us know if there's anywhere along the journey
That we have to see.
that we have to see. I mean, we're trying to not make this into a very long affair, but if it's, even something to like drive through or drive by, certain places to make our pit stops. I know Wawa is big in that area. We're not Wawa people. We don't have it here, but I know for those of you in the area, it's like, oh, Wawa is a good place to stop. I said to Nicole, I go, are there any Buc-ee's in that area? No. And I was like, I always want to stop at a Buc-ee's, but we don't have any like remotely even close to us. I'm like, is there one out there? No. I'm like, So no Buc-ee's, but I know Wawa's one of them, so we'll have to stop through a Wawa, fuel up. But let us know if there's anything interesting that we should, let us know. We're adventurous people. Excuse me.
Well, we're not tired.
We're adventurous people, We might be parents now, but we're adventurous. So
we were once upon a time.
We like to see things. Let us know where we should go. But anyway, that's our show for this week, guys. Take care. Thank you for being with us. Don't forget to go to smokintabacco.com for more news, reviews, and updates.